Okay, so hi, welcome back to Mornings with Luann and Tim, and so now I'm joined by Pam Gerling, and here we go. Okay, so Joyce McComiskey Claridge.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I got it.
You got it.
Okay, tell me your business.
Primerica Financial Services.
And you are?
Mortgage architects.
Mortgage?
Architects. Mortgage broker for mortgage architects.
That's a cool title.
Yeah.
Now, there's a workshop coming up that you ladies are involved in.
That's right. It's on. It's to do with separation and divorce and keeping your home, keeping your finances intact. If you're thinking about a separation and divorce, or you've gone through it and you're not sure what to do because you have a matrimonial home, then you need to talk to us.
See, this is the stuff. Lady Gaga could probably talk to you because she's not doing well with relationships. But so this is the kind of stuff that I don't think people think about, right?
No,
all the financial aspect of it, because so often
it's very emotional. And that's what we need to try and get people to remember, that that is emotional. We need to take the emotion out of it because it's going to happen for a period in time, and then you have the rest of your life. So we want to make sure.
We need to balance practicality.
Yeah, exactly.
Because people are in distress, trauma, whatever. They're not thinking straight sometimes, right?
And not being embarrassed to reach out and ask questions and be informed.
Okay, so oftentimes, after the fact, people are saying, I wish I had known.
Absolutely.
What are some of the things that people you find wish they had known, that you know now, that you can tell them in advance to help them prepare?
Yeah, a couple of things are, one of the most important things is people need to keep their credit intact. Pay their bills on time no matter what's going on financially between them and their spouse. They need to keep their credit intact, because what I've seen in the past is a wife will get mad at the husband and she'll rack up the credit cards. Or the husband does the same thing, right? And now, well, I'm going to teach him a lesson. Well, the problem is it's only hurting yourself down the road anyways. It has to be paid off. So one of the other options is people can actually stay in the home. So there is a program called Spousal Buyout where an individual can buy out their spouse and go up to 95% of the value of the home. Whereas traditionally, if you're doing a refinance, it's only 80%. This is your one and only time to do it. So it's almost as though you're buying the house off your spouse with 5% down.
Because I've heard of these really acrimonious divorces, separations, where they just fight forever and ever, and because one person can't afford to buy it, the other person can't afford to buy it, and they hang out and they battle. And that gets expensive too, right?
It does, and that ends up being my piece, right?
Okay.
It's how do you protect your assets? Where are you looking at things where you've got joint ownership on accounts and you've got that other side? So your retirement assets, your short-term savings, your kids' education plans. So when Pam was talking, when Pam was talking about, hurting your credit, if you've got somebody who decides, that's it, I'm going to throw my hands up and I'm going to declare bankruptcy, those assets that you've worked really hard as a family or as a couple to accumulate now become part of that decision that somebody else makes. So it's things like your kids' education, right? If you've got an education plan that's jointly held with your spouse and your spouse declares bankruptcy, your child's assets can be at risk. So where we find there's a big gap is people not talking to us first, right? We both have a couple of decades of expertise to be able to say, okay, think about it this way. I know you're mad at that person, but if you do this to be vindictive, this is how it's going to trickle down, as opposed to just being practical, right? And knowledgeable walking through the process.
Are there cases that you've had where people intentionally will do things financially, not just racking up credit cards, but you mentioned bankruptcy, where they set themselves up to declare bankruptcy just before they go into litigation for a divorce or separation?
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Whoa.
Absolutely.
Just because they're angry.
And they're hurt.
Right. Okay, so at this workshop, are you going to have speakers? Is it the two of you? How's it going to roll out?
Helen Scott, she's a lawyer in town with family law. She'll also be speaking as well. And so we're going to cover all three. I'll be doing the mortgage, the debt financing side of it and how to keep that. And Joyce will talk about investments and insurance. Even in terms of life insurance, you have your spouse as your beneficiary. That may not be necessarily the person that you want, right?
You want to hear vindictive.
Yes.
Just an example, right?
Okay.
So where talk to us first before you make some decisions.
Okay.
I remember I was new in the business and I had a gentleman come in and he says, I need to change my life insurance because I bought this insurance during my separation and divorce proceedings and I had to make her my beneficiary. That's done. I've shown them the proof. Now I want to cancel it and buy something new and put my new spouse on it.
Whoa.
So a little thing like knowing the difference between a revocable and irrevocable beneficiary is a huge deal.
Somebody could just switch over who gets the policy?
Oh yeah, here you go. Here's my proof. And then the next day be gone. So if that program, say, protected your child support, your alimony, those sorts of things, as soon as they change the beneficiary, if that person passes away, you're done.
Get it.
So that money that was supposed to go to your children, that money that was supposed to go to you. So there are a lot of little things. And I mean, that's literally the difference between two definitions that somebody like I would know because I'm in the business, but nobody else would know.
Nobody else would know.
Yeah. So those are the little pieces that we would feed back and work together. Say with Helen, right? If we had somebody going through this process and they had all three of us, there wouldn't be a question that they weren't prepared for.
They're going to save money.
Right, and you were saying you're sitting down with somebody and you can actually provide them with the information. Tell your lawyer to ask, or go ask your lawyer this question. Find out this from your lawyer. Find out this from your...
And some of the work to do yourself and as an individual or as a couple that are separating that you need to prepare ahead of time. It's going to save you money in the end, right? No one wants to spend extra money that they don't have to. And if you can just kind of plan it out a little bit, get the information that you need, because it's tough nowadays. It's tough all around.
Well, and I mean, divorce is so common.
Yeah,
and I think at one time, weren't we like the divorce capital of
it was
Canada
something like 70% or something.
They were saying a lot of that was shift work, economy and stuff that was causing stress in relationships. And
from my previous real estate life, it was we used to say, well, a new couple getting married, they should just buy 2 houses now. It's easier.
Use one for rental property, and if the marriage ends, bada bing, bada boom.
It's so much easier.
But you were also saying that some people are doing financial planning and making these arrangements even before they announce to their partner that they're planning on leaving.
Yeah, we've both had that happen where we've had people that we know well reach out to us ahead of time
and say,
I need to come in on my own because this is what's going on, and how can I properly prepare myself, and how can I make sure that I'm protected moving forward.
This sounds like it's going to be a really cool workshop.
Yeah, and people will need to, they'll learn.
I get that came out wrong. I'm thinking it's very informative.
Exactly.
It's not cool when a relationship is ending and you have to deal with financial hardships and stress and all that kind of stuff. So that was a wrong choice of words.
But supporting people,
right?
That's what we want to make sure that we're able to do is educate them and support them.
Right.
The supporting is cool.
Okay, so now where are we going?
It's at the Bayfront Quality Inn, March 7th at 7 o'clock.
That's a Thursday, March 7th?
It's a Thursday, and it's a roundtable discussion, so it's going to be very informal, very casual. You know?
Bring your conversation, bring your questions.
Exactly. You can ask any question.
And what about registration in advance?
They can either message me on my Facebook page, which is Mortgage Architects Pam Gerling.
Mortgage Architects Pam Gerling.
They can find me, or they can call the Primerica office.
Yeah, call my office or my Facebook page as well, Joyce McComiskey Claridge.
Yeah. Can people just show up to this thing? Do they have to pre-register?
Yeah, absolutely.
We prefer if they can pre-register.
But if it's a last minute thing, you can if you happen to catch this show and you haven't pre-registered,
that's fine. And they can message us if they have any questions if they're not comfortable with a group session.
Hey, thanks for being here. This was very interesting.
Thanks for
come back again sometime. Wellness Wednesday. We'd love to hear about financial wellness and stuff.
Good.
We learn a lot here on Mornings with Luann and Tim. I better bring Luann back in to say goodbye, otherwise she gets angry. So stay tuned for our farewell message from Luann. And thanks again to Pam and Joyce, not Jane.
Judy.
Judy.
Neither of those.